So today I'm just cleaning house, and I was listening to Cyber Sang, a podcast, and I was listening to how they were talking about um, Western stuff and Eastern stuff kind of combined. How meditation can increase brain plasticity, the telomeres, uh, senescent cells, and or decreased senescence, help you deal with senescence. I was thinking about that from the point of view of it's amazing that I understand all these words, but I scroll through my Google News feed and oftentimes click on the science stuff. It's a habit I got from my great grandfather, who was a science fiction writer, and he would read things like Popular Science but wouldn't read scientific journals. He would wait until they had been translated into popular speech before he would read that sort of stuff. Because otherwise, he had friends who read all of that, and their books were just too over the top for most readers. They weren't having success getting through the publishers and things like that. So, as far as whether or not it's necessary to know all of these terms in order to meditate effectively, it's not. If you do understand these terms, it helps with instilling confidence in other people. But it can also get you into trouble. I've been looking at a lot of stuff lately in which they're linking meditation to mental health. And it does, but maybe not in a peer reviewable way, especially if you do like accumulation meditation, in which your accumulations are very high. And so you can get away with a lot of stuff until such time as you run out of accumulation. And then you really haven't built up any of the skills. It's just similar to using drugs to cope. But if you do use drugs to cope, you have different experiences. You are welcome in different levels of society than if you try to do things with a different kind of mental hygiene and aren't welcome anywhere and don't have the experiences. So these kinds of things teach people to how they interact, how they when you have a lot of accumulations, your guidance is different than when you don't. Sometimes if you use a lot accumulations for a long period of time, the other kinds of guidances that you have become unowned and become gathered by other people. And so you have to reaccumulate that if you're ever in a situation in which your accumulations are considered potentially dangerous to society, because people might realize that you accumulated at some point, but they didn't see you do it. Or there's a law or something against your religion or something. Either one. Sometimes it doesn't make a difference how you talk about these things. The bottom line is this topic wouldn't have come up if people weren't generally averse to the religion or the philosophy. Prejudice towards one and against another. So these kinds of things come up, but it's nice to have the ability to just put on a podcast and sit there. And I did some embroidery, I cleaned the house, I moved around some furniture a little bit to make the place seem a little warmer, and definitely had to swap lamps around to make sure that I had enough light to read over my meditation spot, but I needed the big spotlight over by my embroidery chair.